Okay, so okay, there we go. Positions review and today's trades. So positions, I own SOXL or SOXX as the unleveraged. Still trailing this 10 moving average. Made new highs today, up almost $1,000 on this trade. Still have half from back here, and it's just done nothing wrong. And I would continue to hold it as long as it keeps doing nothing wrong. Coin, still have half of this. Came down to the 10 moving average today. And came down to the 10 moving average today. Wicked off of it. Closed above the 10 and the 5. And once again has done nothing wrong. So I will continue to hold it. IBIT, so far closed over the 5. But I'm using Bitcoin to track this. I mentioned yesterday that this big wick on increased volume was a warning sign, and today you have a break of a previous low of day on increased volume and the first break of a moving average. So might be a good time to trim here. I haven't trimmed any yet, but I will reassess at 8 p.m. when Bitcoin closes, and if this doesn't have some sort of breakout from this little hourly base, then I will consider trimming. And then on the 4 hour, this little tight consolidation right here kind of thing. And if you can reclaim the 20, then I'd consider holding it still full size. But if it doesn't, then I will trim half my IBIT before after market close. HTZ, I still have half of this. This trade, I'm up like 7R. If you look at after hours, it's a little bit more. It's a gap up. I don't know why, but it's like a meaningless gap up. But nonetheless, up $1,000 on this trade. It's not doing anything wrong. If anything, it's actually forming out a really nice weekly as it forms another inside week. And so I'm trying to give it as much cushion as possible and let it work, as this could potentially be a monster winner if it does decide to start trending a lot higher. ASTS, probably my best 0.5% risk performer, as we bought it this day, linear move up, pull back, inside day off of the 20, buy it to that inside day, close green, UNR to my average, and then bam, just working perfectly since. Up about 12% on this position. Up almost $700, and we'll see if it can take out these highs right here. Doing nothing wrong, continuing to trail this until it does something wrong. You have volume accelerating. The MACD hasn't even flipped yet. A very bullish sign. AOI, so I bought this yesterday and gapped up pretty well today, but then faded. Came down to the hourly 20. Closed below it, but then just completely UNR'd it and reclaimed. UNR'd this shakeout low. So I decided not to trim any and hold my position. We'll see how it acts tomorrow. If it comes back down into this area, I'll probably trim at least half and lower my risk on the trade. But it's not done anything wrong, and it made new highs. So I can't really be upset about it. Not the best close, but it closed down 1% from yesterday's close. So not a big deal. SEDG, new position. I'll go over this when I go over my new buys. Didn't do anything wrong. Held a stop. Closed above my average. After hours, it says it's down a little bit, but that's fine. Closed above my average. JMIA, I've been talking about this one. I'll talk about this. This is also a new buy, and I'll talk more about this. And then ARQQ, also a new buy. Again, I'll talk about this. Closed in the green, not doing anything wrong yet, so we will watch to see tomorrow if we get follow through or not. Now let's go over my new buys. So 11:15. So today my new buys were run, SEDG, JMIA twice. I got stopped out on the first buy, ARQQ, and then CRCL. Oh wait, I forgot to add CRCL to my positions list. Whoops. Oh no, what did I just do? Did I leak anything? Okay, no, we're good. All right. Okay, CRCL, and then I also own CRCL, which is an anticipation buy, but I'll get into this in a second. And also, if it takes out this after hours low, then I'm gonna dip out of this thing because I do not want to get caught in a gap down on something stupid. Anyways, oh yeah, so new buys. So CRCL, and then okay, so run. I talked about this yesterday on the watch list. So it had like a high type flag, and it did break out. Confirmed the breakout right here. Had a really nice morning pushed really well, and then just literally faded lower and took out the low. This low right here just barely wicked me out, and so I did get stopped down on that. I risked about 1/4 size, and my stop loss was 2.59% on a 10 ADR, so that makes sense. I'm okay with that trade, completely fine with that loss. SEDG, so same sector as run, but this one didn't get stopped out, and it closed much better. Bought it through the inside day high on the 5-minute high right here, and yeah, closed above my average, came back, tried to retest, almost came to my stop, but went right back above it, and 620'd. So we'll see if that 620 holds and the stock goes back higher. But same sector as run, but actually held. Same story here, 2.5% stop on a 10 ADR. Makes sense, nothing wrong with that. I'm okay if it does stop me out, and I risked about 1/4 size. JMIA, I took this as an anticipation, like first thing this morning. The level was 943 or 942, as I discussed yesterday, but I got impatient, and I bought it over the previous high of day, which is at 435 on this big volume candle. I bought at the close, went straight up, and then just went straight down, never took out the 5-minute high, and stopped me out. That one was fine though. I risked 1/4 size, so 1/4% of my account, but my stop was 1.4% on an 8 ADR, so those numbers make sense, and I'm not upset about that. And then my second buy was at the afternoon, in which I bought it through the actual level, which, if we go back, I was talking about this level right here. So this close level, if you look at it, is it this level or is it this level? It's this level. So I bought it a cent higher or 2 cents higher than the 441 level that I was talking about. You have this close. It felt like just a clean level, and I had a bunch of HVC levels. These closes. So I bought it through there, and then you can see the volume came in as soon as it went through that level. Bam, big volume, and so that's where I bought it, and then flagged out, went higher, and yeah, and it looks ready to go tomorrow. I'll discuss that when we go to the focus list, but looks really clean right now, really clean flag. And again, and then my second buy was a 4.7% stop on an 8 ADR, risking 1/4% of my equity, which I'm fine with. ARQQ, I risked 0.5% of my equity, a 4.4% stop on a 12 ADR, so almost visible by 3. Setup was simple, lower highs and higher lows. Riding this 20, if you actually look at QUBT and QUBTS, two other quantum stocks, they both closed under the 20 moving average, while ARQQ actually held its 20 moving average, which I found pretty interesting. It also made a 77% move up in 4 days, which is a linear move, and it did so on volume. As you can see, it traded 2,552 on the relative volume indicator. It actually put in less volume today, so I'm expecting continuation tomorrow on actual volume, which would confirm the breakout. And the weekly high is your level, which is this thin candle. That would be the breakout confirmation level. So right at 4140. And maybe I would add, we'll see what happens. Ideally, it kind of gaps up and then goes, but you know, who knows? We'll see. And then my final buy was CRCL. This is a 5-star setup for tomorrow. I risked 1/10 of my equity on a 4% stop on a 14 ADR, so that makes sense. And obviously, I have no real confirmation. This is just a guess, but it's set up. It's made a linear move. 174% in 3, 5, 6, 7 days. That's a big move. Pulls back, rising 20, 10, 20. And it's built higher lows and lower highs. And I'm going to take off my brokerage so I can not have that staring at my face. So as you can see, it's just built this big flag, higher lows, lower highs, and now it's formed a tight inside candle. So I took a starter in case it gaps up tomorrow, or just have a better average through when it pushes through the high tomorrow, and I will add to my position. So that being said, let's get into the focus list for tomorrow. So number 1 would be CRCL. Again, check out this flag. After a 174% move up, it's made lower highs, and it's really made some really nice higher lows. Look at this. And now it's tight. So yesterday I said I couldn't long it because it was the percent change was too big for my rules. Well, today, guess what? It just went sideways. And now it only had a negative 4.5% change day instead of a 9% change day, making it way tighter. And now over today's high, I can long it per my rules. Also, volume is dried up compared to this. So tight, linear move up, volume is contracted. This is a really nice setup for tomorrow. Now, obviously, if it breaks the low, then it's just a short. But if it can get through today's high, I would long it, and I would do so happily. JMIA, so the setup, the real trigger is obviously through this inside week high. However, it's just built out this beautiful flag. So you see this, and look at these higher lows, and after a linear move up, it's just tightened up and built out a flag. Now you had to start the move today, but it only had a 5% change day. So through tomorrow's inside week high, you can totally add to this. And tomorrow, I would fully expect it to take out 472, which is the breakout high. And that would be a completely valid add. And that would be a true breakout in which I would move my position today. I would move that stop to break even and then only risk my new buy, which would be the add tomorrow. I mean, this looks really good. I really like this. Linear. It has a history of linear moves up, and again, it just made a linear move up. Really nice consolidation, really tight right at the end here. The volume contracted. Green days are bigger than the red days. I think this looks great. The inside week high is the real trigger, and so that is where I am stalking for my add tomorrow. And I would actually buy a bigger position than I bought today, but likely like 0.5%. AIRO, recent IPO name, just a double inside candle in an aerospace and defense, which is space sector, and it's a double inside day. The first day this thing IPO'd, it made a 200% move off the lows. And this is drones. I didn't even know that. This is a drone stock. So this is in the theme with RCAT and UMAC. Both of those look really good. So this is in that sector. You have double inside days after a 29% move up yesterday. Tight day, and today even tighter now. If you go to an hourly, you have a nice hourly setup forming here. Lower highs, higher lows. Really nice clean flag. Look at this. I mean, this looks amazing. This looks ready to go. And so tomorrow over 2870, I would definitely be interested in taking a position on this. IPO names have huge potential, and especially an IPO name in a hot group, that being drones and space stocks, this thing has big potential. SRM, so I believe this is a crypto related name, but I don't know, like they yap about whatever this is, souvenirs, plushies, designing, whatever, but I'm pretty sure this is actually like a crypto related name. That's why it had this big run up. Today's change was above 7%, but 7.05%, so it's right on the line of, on my rules. I'd watch it tomorrow. I think it's really tight here, right on that 20 moving average. It lost it, then it reclaimed, tight day. The volume's dead, so I do think it actually looks pretty decent. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and I would definitely consider longing it if it does take out 722. Probably small size. I wouldn't risk a lot on this, but maybe this thing can go to 14 plus if it really gets going. And it's an IP. Like, look, it's at all-time highs. It's an IPO name. Like, if it's gonna move, it's gonna make a huge move. So you don't really need big size on something like this. Next up, these two stocks are in the exact same group. Communications and just like satellites in general, like this does satellite services, whatever, and VSAT does services, advanced technologies business, defense, advanced technologies, resilient, vertically integrated, government, commercial leveraging companies, cybersecurity. It doesn't really say, it doesn't say satellites or anything, but VSAT, SATS, EchoStar, like they're all space, like you can hear them in the names, if that makes sense. This VSAT, I think this is maybe the better name. This thing made it 80% up, linear move up, had a little setup right here, move up, and then now it's just pulled back on light red volume, and it's formed an inside day right on this 10 EMA. And so after losing it yesterday, so I think it's pretty tight here. I don't think it's the best setup in the world, but I think it could be worth a shot. It's a linear mover, linear move up, pull back, linear move up, pull back, and now you're closer to the 20 than you were here, and you're on the actual 10, which you weren't here. So if I was looking to long this would probably be a solid spot to do so. And again, the volume's all dried up, the lowest since in a long time, really since this day, really maybe since this day. But no, lower than this day. But yeah, so the volume's pretty dried up, and I think your risk reward is not bad here. 5 ADR at $31 million volume, not the best, but I think it's decent. SATS, this probably doesn't have a high chance of even triggering, but 5 ADR, $85 million volume. Once again, linear move up. You have a 30% move in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Honestly, not the best. I thought it was a little bit more. I didn't realize how slow this thing is. But, it's right at these 52-week highs. Inside day, right on the 10 moving average. Volume is dried up. The lowest in quite some time, maybe since this consolidation right here. And it had, this gap up, breakout, and then now it's pulled back. Ideally, it just doesn't trigger, because honestly, I don't like it that much. It's okay, but it's not. It's okay at best. I wouldn't risk, but both of these setups, and they're not that fast movers either. But 5 ADR is not bad, but VSAT is much better. This thing makes a much better move, much faster than this SATS, but nonetheless, it is technically a setup for me, and I would consider trying it. And if I were to try it, it would be small size, like 1/4 size for each, to be honest. If anything, I think VSAT would deserve 0.5% risk. But like these setups are not as good as like AIRO, JMIA, and CRCL. Those are my favorite setups. I would definitely at least risk 0.5% on CRCL. This could easily be deserving of 1% risk. JMIA, same story here. I'll probably risk another 0.5%. Since I already have a 1/4% risk on, that would equal about 0.75% total risk, which is 3/4 full size. And then AIRO, I would consider 0.5%, but probably maybe lean towards 1/4%. You know, it will depends how tight the stop is and everything. But all these top 3 names like are way more deserving than VSAT and SATS. VSAT looks pretty good, and SRM looks decent. SRM I would do 1/4%. So 1/4%, 1/4%, 1/4%, and then these top 3 names maybe 0.5%. Which you're limiting your drawdown, and obviously the market has to be good for all those stocks to trigger. And then you also need some follow through from the names we bought today, which is ARQQ, JMIA, and then AOI, ASTS, HTT, all that good stuff. Anyways, this video is 21 minutes long, so a little bit not that long, but kind of long. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. Bitcoin maybe breaking out here, so we'll see what happens. And thanks for watching.